Hello and welcome everyone to a fantastic showdown between Ogre Kingdoms and Loopy going up against Kislev on the Kornite Wastelands. A pretty even match indeed, but some very interesting army compositions coming forward. So in the front we are going to be having the artillery piece of the Little Grom, 530 armor piercing missile strength, very good up against the back line there of the Ogre Kingdoms. Also here supported by 4 units of the Cossack Spears, so bonus for large in melee combat, and then also missiles to hit the front line as it tries to engage. In the middle we are going to have the hero of the Patriarch, very interestingly going to be here on foot. Now we are going to have the Brazier as well as the Ararai and the ability of the Courage of Sacrifice. So the two abilities are going to be the Battle Hymn for that plus 40 melee attack, and then also the Lullaby, which is basically going to be a double Earthblood. So 3 of those in the back pocket, and for the main DPS, 3 units of the Ice Guard Glaives. So these beautiful Ice Spears here in the back pocket of the lovely ladies, and they're also going to have some amazing range. So magic attacks there coming from the ammunition and the melee attacks, plus also frostbite. So it's going to be slowing all the Ogre Kingdoms on their approach. Anti-large armor piercing for the melee stats, and 160 range there with also that charge reflection is going to make them a very good hybrid unit indeed. For the Lord Choice on foot, we are going to have the Ice Witch. She's going to be today here with Arcane Conduit, as well as the Heart of Winter as the only spell, the Snowflake Pendant, and then also the Guardian Call for that Snow Leopard Summon, which is very, very good here up against the Ogre Kingdoms. So for the cavalry, we are going to have 2 units of the Warbear Riders. They look just as gorgeous as they hit. Now these big bad boys are going to have 110 anti-large armor-piercing weapon strength, which I think the bonus is going to be 23, which is rather large indeed. 95 armor with 75 speed, making them rather mobile for that armor class. In the back, a second unit going to be hiding out in the trees, so it's going to take a while there to spot. So we're going to be forcing the Ogre Kingdoms to come forward today. 3 units of the Noblar Trappers in the front line. Going to be having that Stalk and of course those missile abilities. Very good up against the Cossack Spears. For the main battle line, we are going to be having double Iron Guts. These bad boys do have 90 armor, so they're rather tanky, considering most of the faction force here of the Ogre Kingdoms is going to be rather lightly armored. But then also they're going to have 100 armor-piercing weapon strength, which means they can trade even very well up against these big Warbear Riders. Lead Belchers in the back is going to be 200 range of 94 armor-piercing per cannon. And the Monstrous Cannon Infantry is very, very powerful for 1,000 gold cost. Double Ogre Balls, which are going to be supplemented alongside 4 units of Noblars here in the front line to kind of dissipate a lot of the damage here up against, most of the Monstrous Infantry that only has 24 models. In the back, we are going to be having the ginormous cavalry of the Morfang Cavalry, 120 armor-piercing weapon strength, 90 armor as well, pretty decent mobility as well, considering going to be very similar stat line there to the Warbear Riders with 68 charge bonus. So these bad boys, 2 in the back, are going to be really, really good indeed. So for the hero, or should we say the Lord Choice here, is going to be the Slaughtermaster of the Great Maw. So here with the Belly Slapper for that -8 melee attack. Also with the Blood Gruel, and then also the Blood Cleaver, which means we can heal in melee combat. For the spells, we are going to have Troll Guts, and then also the Ball Gorger, just to try and see if we can proc that lore passive nice and cheaply. Also giving a little bit of armor piercing and plus 24 melee attack, it's actually not too bad. You could really apply that to anything here on the battlefield, and it would do rather well. So we're going to be going forward, probably get the Lead Belchers, kind of juking here up against the Little Grom. He's going to be certainly smashing them in the backside, doing some rather good work. But they do have 42 speed, considering they are, technically kind of a hybrid artillery piece. So they're going to be moving relatively well. The Morfang Cavalry is going to come around there, ginormous targets here to hit. In the backside, 3 more units of the Sabre Tusks are going to be joining. These bad boys are very powerful indeed. And they may not look like much, but they're going to be having 70 weapon strength, 25 of that being armor piercing, and really good base weapon damage on top of that. Now they can rampage, but they have 95 speed. If they get in the back and shut down all the right tools, they'll do very, very well indeed. And this is where actually, in this matchup, Cossack Spears are very, very good. The Cossack Spears are actually going to be having that bonus as large in melee combat, so if they do get compromised, they can fight back. But then also, they're going to be having some good range tools, as we've only got 30 armor here for the Sabre Tusks and most of the Ogre Ball and frontline units. So we're going to be charging in the front, so Cannon's going to be firing here in and amongst the Lead Belchers. We are actually going to be spotting the Noblar Traps in the front. They're going to be throwing those knives at the front, and they're also going to be taking a lot of the attention here from Kislev. Now they're going to be getting deleted very, very quickly, but it does mean that the Iron Guts and also the Ogre Ball is going to get away here scot-free. On the flanks, we're going to be shutting down with the Sabre Tusks. Sabre Tusks will also pour into the back here up against the Ice Guard Glaives. And they do have anti-large and armor piercing, but they're going to compromise them and stop them from shooting so that those more expensive units can get in the back here without taking as much damage. Throwing Knights just throwing over the top here. Most of them actually going to be firing into Little Grom. Don't really know if that's all that good up against 105 armor. Ice Guard Glaives going to be leaving arrows here onto the left-hand side up against these Sabre Tusks. Only 30 armor means they're going to get hit rather hard. Coming around the left-hand flank is going to be the Iron Guts. They really want to engage these Ice Guard Glaives. They'll do some very good work indeed. More Flank Cavalry going to be moving around the flanks, and we have more Noblars coming through, and the Lead Belchers are just wreaking havoc here on the front line. Those cannibals firing into the front, really destroying up against Kislev. It's going to be a pretty even fight so far. 2 minutes into the battle, we do see Noblar Trappers going to be breaking. The front line is not exactly known for its leadership here, unfortunately. Noblars are not the best of fighters. Now, we are going to be having the Heart of Winter upgraded. I really like this. For only 4 extra Winds of Magic, you get an extra 50% DPS there from that magic spell. That's going to be catching 3 units there, which is some really nice work up against the Noblars. Over on the right-hand side, we are going to have Ogre Balls fighting alongside the Morfang Cavalry, who are actually going to be having Troll Guts. Pretty nice healing there, I think 40 seconds of 0.8%, and now they can charge into the back up against the Ice Guard Glaives. We can see By Our Blood being activated across the battlefield. As we can see, a lot of the Kislev forces are really struggling. In the middle, we're going to have Warbear Riders fighting up against the Morfang Cavalry in the biggest duel of old here of all cavalry of all time, as they try and fight here. But it looks like the Warbear Riders, who are designed to take on this heavily armoured cavalry, are going to be losing. So the big Morfang Cavalry are going to be doing the big burly work, and perhaps that 68 charge bonus really paying dividends. Now we do see here it's going to be a pretty even fight. The Morfang Cavalry might even break first. By Our Blood is going to hold back with the Warbear Riders. And there we go, the Morfang Cavalry do break. So we can chase off here with the Warbear Riders. Sabre Tusks have broken, they're going to move to the back side of the field, but so here are the Cossack Spears. We do have a summon of the Snow Leopard. That's going to be charging the back, trying to finish off 1 unit of the Lead Belchers. Very smart stuff here coming out of the Kislev player, really compromising the monstrous cannon infantry, but we do actually have the Sabre Tusks in the back, and not much armor here for the Snow Leopard. Now, it does have physical resistance, so it can hold on, but that summon there is going to be going down pretty quickly. Over on the right-hand side, we do see some Noblars returning, including some of these Trappers, the devilish boys indeed. And then we are going to have the Lord Choice chasing off Little Grom. He actually destroys him with one big foul swoop, and unfortunately here, the double Polar Bears do fall in combat. So the Ogre Ball is going to be fighting and just kind of beating up the Ice Guard Glaives. They don't have much armor, and we have 90 weapon strength there for the Ogre Balls. In the main battle line, we are going to have Warbear Riders heroically fighting alongside the Lord Choice here, actually breaking down some of the Morfang Cavalry. We do actually have the Patriarch in the middle, giving those kind of leadership buffs, melee buffs, and healing, which is just so crucial to the Kislev roster. In the backside, the armor-piercing Iron Guard's going to be thumping quite hard, but unfortunately here, anti-large and armor-piercing is going to be on the side of the Ice Guard Glaives. They're going to be fighting rather nicely here in the middle. Look at those big Glaives in action. I absolutely love them. Very, very good design indeed. Now, if the Ice Guard Glaives did get a Regiment of Renown coming out soon, that would make me a very, very happy logic. So, in the middle, we are going to have the Morfang Cavalry returning here to battle. Some of the Lead Belchers, one actually is going to be at still 60 models and 4 HP. That is really scary at this stage of the battle. Heart of Winter, overcasted yet again, is now going to be getting on top of the Ogre Kingdom units, as they're going to be fighting here up against the Warbear Riders. Ice Guard Glaives still going to be fighting at 28 models, 2,300 health, and very healthy here is actually going to be the Patriarch. Now, he is, you know, certainly a man here with much experience on the battlefield, and he's just going to be shredding through a lot of the infantry, and also the War Beasts coming through to take his life. But now we're going to be having a bit of an unfortunate duel in the back. The Ice Witch is pretty much nothing here up against the Slaughtermaster of the Great Moor. Droguts has been activated for him. That's going to be doing some very, very good healing indeed. By Our Blood getting activated by the Ice Guard Glaives and the Ice Witch, as they're going to be fighting in the back. She's going to be down to 1,200 HP. Dismember being used as well to slow down there up against the Lord Choice. Some very good stuff here coming out of Loopy. In the back, the Morfang Cavalry is going to be breaking, and so much here is going to be breaking from the Ogre Kingdoms. Balance of power is going to be going into the Ogre Kingdom favour, but a few units are really, really holding on here for the force of Ogre Kingdoms. Ice Guard Glaives are going to be firing here up against the Noblard Trappers, but they're going to be throwing those throwing knives back as well. And, you know, they're not super accurate, but if they hit, they have enough numbers here to do some really, really good damage indeed. So 20 armor, oh sorry, should we actually say 20 models left for the Ice Guard Glaives. And in the middle here, the Ogre Balls are still going to be trying to challenge up against the Ice Witch. I don't know where the Lord Choice went. Oh, it looks like here he's going to fight up against the Patriarch. He wants a bit of a scrap here up against the man with much battle experience, but we do actually have a little bit of an unfair advantage with the Warbear Riders nice and close. But just to even up the battle, we are going to be having Morfang Cavalry getting the rear charge here up against the Warbear Riders, as now they're going to be pushing them off the battlefield with a nice, good, juicy rear charge. The Oscar Glaives down to 4 models. They're probably going to be shattering very soon. They do shatter on the spot. And there we go. We are going to be getting by our blood for the Patriarch. That was very close to army losses, but GG's and well played there to Loopy with a very, very good force for the Ogre Kingdoms. Now, when I saw this battle, I was very, very interested in the Kislev roster. I did see the army composition. I thought, oh god, I don't know how this is going to perform. But that performed a lot better than I thought it would. The Oscar Glaives got some pretty good damage in the back there. So 1,280, 1,100, but 540 there is not brilliant. But still, they held their own in melee combat. And, they kind of, really did quite the same there as the Cossack Spears. So 380, 500... 300 and 200. Both can fight with anti-large in melee combat, and then also the Ice Glaives do get that extra armor piercing. The one thing that maybe let it down was perhaps the little Grom. He came in at 644, so quite a bit under the mark. 320 there for the Patriarch, with 1,033 and 1,523 there for the Warbear Riders. 1,280 there for the Ice Witch, and overall a pretty decent force here from Kislev. I don't quite know who this is, as we still haven't got the update for names here on these replays, but still, I thought this was a very, very interesting one. Triple Ice Guard Glaives going up against the Ogre Kingdoms is certainly bold, and I really, really like the attempt here. It was super fun indeed. So, well played to Loopy, a tremendously good player for the ODM clan, but 1,500 for the Slaughtermaster of the Great Moor, 1,450, 1,680 there for the Moorfang Cavalry. Actually haven't seen these used up against the Ogre Kingdoms, but they were used quite nicely. Good cycle charging, but 68 charge bonus is very, very powerful indeed, considering just how much armor piercing they really have. So these bad boys did a very, very good job indeed. 1,500, 400 as well for the Lead Belchers. So, pretty much putting these two together, they pay for themselves quite nicely. 1,000 and 720 there for the Iron Guns with a great performance. 450, 500 and 160. So the Sabre Tusks just being a little bit irritating, roughly paying for themselves. 220 and 1,380 there for the Ogre Balls. What is that? Where the hell did that stat line come from? That must have been the one here that destroyed maybe one of the Ice Guard Glaives. I'm not particularly too sure, but that is a very, very powerful amount of gold value dealt. 404, 540 and 360 there for the Noblar Trappers, and the Noblars coming in at 290, 85 and 195. Yeah, 300 there as well for the Noblars is rather impressive. Perhaps they were beating down on one of the Cossack Spears. But yeah, what an awesome game. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you very much, Loopy, for sending it in. If you did, please smash that like button. It really does help here on the channel. Feel free to leave a comment down below as well, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you also haven't checked out that description, you can find all my other social media platforms, including my Twitch and my Discord. And then other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all very, very soon.